All right. Hi, guys. We are on video 6. We're currently driving through a tunnel on our way home, so it's a little bit strange lighting in the background, but it'll clear up in a little bit. It's October 2nd. Still October 2nd. And as I mentioned in the last video, if you have any thoughts, questions, comments, feel free to put them in the comment section, and we will do a special Q&A answering questions or commenting on comments video. Again, everything that we're recording is opinion. It's the beliefs of Lisa, who is my faithful driver, and over the course of her life, what she, her sisters, and a few friends kind of share the same beliefs, and in their differences they learn from each other. We've been talking about different versions of ghosts and spirits that are seen or experienced or interacted with by other humans. We've talked about images and non-communicative apparitions, imprints and energy. We've talked about actual past human ghosts. And I think that might be a phrase that I use going forward because I like that phrase. Ghost spirits, souls that were once human, and after they've deceased and they've departed and their body is no longer with us, they've hung around. They've held on to this reality. So that leads to my next question. As the person who has not spent her life even thinking about this half the time, and the little I do think about it is usually gleaned from movies or books or my own religious upbringing. There are so many, at least it seems, that there are so many TV shows, movies based on, quote, fact, books, documentaries that are paranormal. And in these entertainment, whether they're based in what the people in them believe is true or it is all fictional, it seems to be happening a lot. There's interactions with otherworldly entities. But at least in the TV shows that seem to be all over the place right now in some way or another, they talk about things that aren't just ghosts. They don't just say this spirit, this ghost. Grandma Mabel, she needs help passing on. She's communicated to you. Or, Frederick Von, whoever is currently residing in this house in a spiritual form, but his loved one died 40 years ago, so I will help him, or I will communicate with him. I'm a spirit medium. Many of the mist is cool. Many of the plot lines now bring up a common set of phrases. Shadow figures, dark men, poltergeists. So in our last video, we did touch on that it is Lisa's belief that once someone passes away, their spirit, ghost, soul does almost always hang around in some capacity before passing on, unless in the rare instance they're completely at peace with their life. But most of those who pass on do stay and linger in some way. But many, 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 many people do not see them. The rare few see them, or the rare spirit musters enough energy to communicate. Now, this is sort of contradictory to what is popular or most commonly seen when it comes to ghost hunters, quote, ghost hunters, or spirit chasers, or the paranormal researchers, or so. In your opinion, is there is it all the same? Are they just using different terms? Are they finding, communicating with, or searching? Is a shadow figure Aunt Mabel? Is a tall man Frederick Von whoever? Or are these things that seem to be appearing or happening or residing in these locations, or what are they? Because that's now different than what we were just saying.
Shadow people are more likely than not to be some sort of evil entity, non-person entity.
So never been a human.
Never been a human. And it may have the ability to, this is another belief, to take over the human entity that once was Grandpa Joe.
So like
weaker,
mimic it?
It's a weaker entity. Grandpa Joe is a weaker entity and can then be controlled by the non-human entity who is more powerful because it's been around since creation. So it knows all the ins and outs of how to use the energy to its best ability. So yes, it could originally present itself as Uncle Joe. And the more friendly you become with Uncle Joe starts changing. And things start getting weirder, darker, scarier. Uncle Joe starts doing things that Grandpa Joe never did. Scaring you. Making you feel uneasy around them. So yeah, when people say in these shows or whatever that it's a shadow person, that's a bad thing. Because again, it's believed that they've never been human. So they don't follow the rules typical of humans. The beliefs of humans. So let's say Grandpa Joe, for example, he was human. So he knows the heaven, hell, purgatory thing, the religious beliefs. So if we were to guide Grandpa Joe into the quote-unquote light, to move him on into eternal rest and peace, he would understand those steps. A non-human entity that's never been human, has never been alive, has never had a earthly vessel to inhabit, doesn't understand those things, doesn't believe in those things, so it makes it harder to lead them on, get them out of a location. So their main goal is to be malicious. Their main goal is to use your fear to collect that energy.
It's almost like a leech or a vampire type situation.
Right. They're going to use your fear to strengthen them and bewilder you to make them stronger. And the stronger they get, the larger they get. The longer they've been around, the stronger they get. So, yeah. That's usually what a shadow person is. It's an evil entity. A lot of people think that poltergeists are evil entities. No. Poltergeist is a playful entity. Someone in your life has always been that person to annoy you. Like, I'm not touching you. I'm still not touching you. I'm still not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. That is like a poltergeist. Someone who knows what irks you and is going to use it.
Now, when you say someone, you're also talking about a non-human.
No.
Do you believe believe poltergeists were once human?
A poltergeist, again, is another type of manifestation of energy. If you have two people in a dwelling, in a house, that have some sort of power, psychic power, whatever, medium, where they can hear the dead or whatever, has some type of power linking them to the paranormal, some type of skill.
They're perceptive.
Yeah, some type of perception that causes a conflict in the energy field within that dwelling. So say I have psychic abilities, you have psychic abilities, but we believe slightly different parts of it, of the spectrum. So we're going to constantly be butting heads. So if my powers or my skills are slightly more advanced than yours are, and you really, really piss me off, and I may be thinking, she's just really annoying me and pissing me off. Why doesn't she feel this way about this? Like I do. I know it's true. I know it's fact, whatever. That energy is going to manifest in some type of something. It could be the energy to push that cup off the shelf that you just set there and burst on the floor. It could be slamming the cabinet shut that you just opened. It could be opening the cabinet that you just shut. It's a manifestation of energy that living entities put out.
So almost it's, if I'm understanding this, poltergeist this is totally different than how you said, grandma passed away, and you want to believe with your whole heart and soul that when that cup, her favorite china cup, moves on the shelf,
right,
or her rocker moves,
right,
most likely that is not grandma, because it takes too much energy for a spirit, a soul, to do that. Are you saying that you think maybe that's actually a poltergeist because they're stronger? No? Okay.
Chances are that eventually that cup moving or the chair rocking or whatever could be grandma. Okay. If grandma was open to the possibility of that realm.
Right.
In life.
Right.
If grandma believed, I am here, I was born into this life, I will die, I will be planted, I will become part of the earth. End of story.
Right.
Very close mind.
Right.
Chances are it's going to take her longer to be able to manifest that cup moving.
Right.
Or whatever. Whereas a poltergeist is a manifestation of energy built up in a dwelling place or whatever that expresses itself at moments of times where there's a peak in energy.
So it's almost like it's a non-human offspring of humans' energy.
Yes.
I know that sounded weird, but hopefully our listeners can understand, because that's what I just pictured.
Right.
Where if
It's
you and
kinda
I
like
are strongly open
Right.
to psychic abilities, and again, we're saying that it's more of an openness to
Right.
otherworld things.
Right.
And if you
or
and
some
I,
people don't even know they have the ability.
right, but they
That's
have
the
a
thing.
thin veil between them.
Right.
They're casting out this energy that's then
Right. It's a negative type of energy.
right. It's giving birth to a different creature. It's okay.
It's giving life to an energy.
Okay.
And that energy needs to manifest and act out in some sort of way. So it could be the slamming of a door. It could be the moving of the cup. It could be the rocker rocking. Is it going to, chances are, be your child sliding across the floor with a football helmet on? No, probably not. But, that's a poltergeist. A poltergeist is more of a trickster,
Right.
so to speak.
Which can be, as Eve quote, because I don't know how I believe in, I don't know if I truly believe you can label things that were non-human as evil, but it's the outcome of its actions can be dangerous to the human beings in its area. And I guess that's the only way. If these were never human, but they have no love for us and no protective instincts for us, we're in their way. We're bugs to them. So if they wind up hurting us while they're doing their thing, it doesn't matter to them. And they feed off
no concept of that.
Right. And they feed off of the energy expelled. And like a child's movie, you make more energy screaming than you do laughing sometimes, you know, or, you know, it could be portrayed as that. So I get that. And so now I get the whole poltergeist thing. Might be even humanoid looking if you were to see it. It might be, but it was never human. And it was created by...
And that is your mind's way of being able to accept it.
Right.
Okay, you know, and, you know, so then you will see on these shows where they explain poltergeist activity. And then they're like, well, you have abilities. And they're like, no, I don't.
Right.
Well, yeah, you do. But you don't realize it.
Right.
Maybe that's why these spirits are coming to you so much and why you're seeing them so much and hearing them so much. Because you have an ability to communicate with them.
Right.
But you don't know what to do with that ability because you don't know you have it. And this person over here has abilities, but they don't know they have them. So until you figure out how to control those abilities, it's going to be displaced energy.
Right.
And that energy needs to be released somewhere in the universe. So if the friction of the energy is between person A and person B, somewhere in between person A and person B, that energy is going to erupt at some point.
And it creates poltergeist.
Poltergeist paranormal
thing.
Event.
The thing that we call poltergeist is that we commonly know as a poltergeist.
Right.
Okay, so now going back to shadow figures, because we jumped. Okay, so I hear this term a lot. I watch these shows with you, and they're produced by different people. They're made in different time periods. You know, some are much older than others. Some are, and I don't know if it's just now a catchphrase. It probably is. I mean, we could call these things clovers. You know, you could call them whatever, but they don't say.
Yeah, I mean, at one point it was.
You know,
the Slender Man.
Right, and that's what I meant. The Slim
big,
Man. Yeah.
Big back then, and then someone used the catchphrase
shadow figure. And now it's everywhere.
And now it's everywhere. But there is no defined, and I have not studied, let me be clear, I have not studied the paranormal. I have not went to school for the paranormal.
It's all your experience.
This is all personal experience and personal opinion on my part. So there are definitions of certain things.
But when it comes
to certain things. So, but what you'll see on some of these shows is some people will say it's a shadow figure, and then they'll go, "Show, no." And then when the person investigating it goes in, and they come back later, they'll be like, "That shadow figure you saw is not a true shadow figure. That was actually Uncle Joe trying to show himself to you. That was a shadow of the entity who actually was a human. Who actually was a human.
Wasn't strong enough.
Wasn't strong enough, but you may see them every so often. Every so often going down the hallway, going down the hallway, going down the hallway, going down the hallway. And you keep seeing this shadow figure that you keep describing as a shadow figure.
Yes.
That's where I'm going. But actually, it's a shadow.
Right. It's an actual shadow of a ghost.
It's an actual shadow of a ghost, not... Oh, gas station's on the other side, my bad. Not a shadow figure. Two different things, two different meanings, totally different entities.
Okay, and at that point, as you all might have guessed, we
desperately
need gas. And we just started talking about something else, so I'm going to end this here.
And we'll be right back.
And we'll be right back.